everyone. I'm Amy,
I'm Sarah.
and together.
We are unscripted.
So today, I thought it'd be kind of fun. We were discussing urban legends and if we've actually done any of them. So we've got a couple, as in four. Not really a couple,
Mhm.
but first, I didn't really know where these urban legends started. I mean, obviously, like an urban legend, it always has its roots someplace. But like as far as these games, like I'll read. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. I can stay on camera. I can't. Oh yeah, there I am. Okay, good. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay, because you know me and my technical mishaps here. Okay. So I did a quick search and it said the concept of urban legend games as a genre didn't have a definitive starting point, but it emerged in the 1990s, which makes sense because that's when we were
We
really,
started doing them.
yeah, because we were, young. Um, and it says it started with the release of games like Twilight Syndrome, which I'd never heard of this. So let me read on. Hang on. Additionally, urban legends have influenced game development and popular culture since the early days of arcade games, with examples like the Polyb. Oh, should have done this before. Polybius legend. I don't know. I'll have this linked. So if I butchered it, I will. The popularity of urban legends as game themes also grew with the rise of online forums and social media. Well, that was way after, though, particularly in the early 2010s, as seen with the South Korean elevator game. I did see they have a Netflix movie called like The Elevator Game. Sucks. Don't watch it, didn't finish it. But anyway, it says for a more detailed breakdown. So, okay, this is what we were looking for. In the early 1990s, the Twilight Syndrome series released exclusively in Japan. So we didn't hear about this, but obviously things circulated around back to our neck of the woods.
Mhm.
Is a notable example of a game series that incorporated urban legends into its gameplay. These games focused on high school students investigating paranormal happenings. So I don't know a thing about that. I'm going to have to look that up. And if I
I was
can
gonna
find
say
a
it.
small
It
clip.
will make sense. It does make sense. That's they based it on paranormal happenings, so paranormal encounters. So they said they played these games and paranormal stuff happened to them. So it would make sense. I think. Still have to do some more research, but it would make sense.
Oh, is that what it is? I guess I misread it. I guess I was thinking, I don't know. No, game series that incorporated urban legends into its gameplay. So like the legend already like existed, and then these like high school students they would like test it. Like, like the
And that's
elevator
how they
game, we would
created the
actually.
paranormal experiences. Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay. Okay, I don't know what I thought you were talking about, but anyway, it
No
says
big
late
deal.
1990s and beyond, the Twilight Syndrome series, including Moonlight Syndrome. Again, all these syndromes here continued to explore urban legend themes and even had live action films based on the series.
Yep.
So that's interesting. And like it goes on, like, in early 2010, that's like with the elevator game, ongoing, just, urban legends continue to be a source of inspiration for game developers, blah, blah, blah. And I guess this early 2000s is when the games like Polybius or whatever it's called continue to grow with the rise of the internet and online communities. So I'm going to have to figure out what the heck Polybius is, or
Olivia is.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Polybius. So I'm thinking it's
That sounds
Polybius.
like Olivia.
Yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, so I wanted to go over just like four of them that we were more familiar with, because I think they're the
Mhm.
more popular ones, at least in the 90s. So the first
Mhm.
one I want you to tell everybody about Candyman, because I
Oh,
thought that this came from the movie. I didn't know that the movie came from the legend. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Candyman is basically an urban legend. It was based on an interracial relationship between a black male and a white woman having an interracial relationship with one another. Um, people were not happy with it, and it eventually ended up a mob went after this black man and supposedly killed him because of his interracial relationship with this white woman. And the myth goes that if you go into a dark bathroom or a dark hallway with a mirror, they usually like the big mirrors, that's what they usually talk about. You light a candle and you call Candyman 5 times. You say the word Candyman 5 times in the mirror with a lit candle. Candyman appears with his little hook hand, and if you don't turn on the lights quickly enough, he's going to get you with his hook. That's how the game went, and it's a really cool little party game, Halloween party game that, teenagers would play. But then they created that movie based on the urban legend off of the game that was created. So they did come up with a movie called Candyman, where he was basically like a serial killer killing people. So Candyman was a fun urban legend. I'll have to admit that it wasn't one of my favorites, but it was fun. It's a nice thing to do for Halloween, especially.
Where did he get the hand hook?
Oh, apparently they had chopped off his hand during. Yeah, I apologize. They apparently chopped off his hand, and he came back as a spirit, found a hook, put a hook back in his hand, and that became his hand.
Okay.
So at least that's, people claim that that's what happened. I don't know for sure. I just know that there was a relationship with a white woman and a black man, and it didn't go over very well. So
it must have been like pre Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1950s kind of thing. This must have been like way earlier before things like
probably,
that were
yeah,
accepted.
probably.
Huh, I thought you had to say it like 3 times or whatever. I don't remember the specifics. That's one that I'll talk about. I had like a funny little mishap when I tried that. So another common mirror game, the mirror. See, I should have done research on why the mirror. But mirrors are just creepy.
Well, mirrors are considered portals
Yeah.
in witchcraft. So it's a portal to different dimensions and different divination tools. It is a divination tool. So a mirror is an opening to another portal. Or another dimension. So using the mirror is a way to communicate with something other than your regular normal state of being, state of self. So it's a portal. That's why they use mirrors.
Okay. So another fun, well, not so fun for me, mirror game was Bloody Mary. And I guess there's like still a lot of speculation about who Bloody Mary is. From what I looked up, it said a lot of people consider Bloody Mary to be Queen Mary the First of England because she was responsible for killing a lot of women, burning them at the stake for heresy, and so they just kind of gave her that nickname because she was a murderer. Then there's also Mary Worth, who was a woman burned at the stake for witchcraft. I'm not sure why her versus many of the others who were, but I couldn't find anything on that. And they also link it to possibly Countess Elizabeth Bathory, who was the Hungarian noblewoman, and she was accused of torturing and killing girls. I knew there was like a movie about her a long time, like probably 2010, 2007, I don't know, something. But it was like a bunch of kids in this movie, and they had to like, I don't know, I think it was like a video game, but she was like behind it somehow. Like you would meet Elizabeth. I'm gonna have to find out what this movie is because now it's like I'm doing crazy talk. But she apparently, in order to stay young and youthful, she would bathe in the life force of.
It was women's virgin blood.
Yeah.
It was like Snow White and the Huntsman. The movie Snow White and the Huntsman. There was an evil queen, and she was rounding up all the young girls who were virgins, and she was murdering them and draining them of their blood into her tub, where she would sit and soak in virgin blood to remain youthful and beautiful. So it could be the story or something along those lines that you're talking about, because that was like Snow White and the Huntsman.
Well, that was a Snow White and the Huntsman, right? That wasn't regular Snow White.
Yeah, no, it was Snow White and the Huntsman. It was,
So
this is a more like, Yeah, it's a creepy version of Snow White, and it's based
Yeah,
on the
I
evil
saw it.
queen who was murdering little girls to, again, bathe in their blood and she was like an evil witch, but she was mimicking a queen with her, with the beauty and things like that.
Um,
She had supposedly like convinced the king to fall in love with her or something.
Right. Yeah, I remember that now. It was a while when I saw that, but yeah. Um, and then here's a weird one too. There's Blue Baby. And I know if you mention this, some people will be like, what's that? Or whatever. And
Mhm.
I'll let you tell what that is because that's not the version that I played. So
Yeah.
what
So Blue
weird.
Baby was an Blue Baby was an urban legend based on again, it's a game. You walk into your bathroom or some type of room in the dark, look in the mirror, and you pretend to be rocking a baby in your arms, like cradling one, and you would say the words blue baby, baby blue. I don't know if it's 3 to 4 to 5 times, I don't know, but you kept going back and forth, rocking the baby, saying blue baby, baby blue. And apparently, as you're doing that, you're going to start feeling your arms getting weighed down by a pretend baby where it feels like there's a baby in there. Some claim that this blue baby appears, but they said that you have to flush this baby down the toilet before
Hmm.
its psychotic mother, who supposedly killed the baby with shattered glass or something, like slit its throat or something, before the mother comes after you, you have to flush the baby down the toilet. Because she's looking for her baby that she killed, but you have to flush it down the toilet so it could just go back to its mother or something. But I never played that one. I just read about the legend of it, and it was incredibly weird. And there was one person who claimed that they were scratched by Baby Blue or Blue Baby. Like it came to life and it like scratched them all up. And then they said that it was a game or like party. And this girl who went in there did this. She was getting scratched up, and they were trying to get into the bathroom with her. And apparently, by the time they got into the bathroom, she was dead
What?
with her
I
eyes
didn't hear
gouged
that.
out. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
So
See if that's I'm gonna write that
look
down
on
if I can find it.
Wikipedia. Yeah, Wikipedia, I think it had the urban legends, but you can look up the urban legend of Blue Baby, Baby Blue, and it'll tell you like the whole little story that happened at a party game at some party at friends' houses. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
but that's
If
all
I
I
can
know about
find
Baby Blue. I've never done that one. That one just sounds almost ridiculous.
why Blue Baby? That's what I don't think. Okay, so the version that I did, I had this friend and it was done outside. And what you would do is you'd have to make sure that the sun was out. And so we sat on the sidewalk and it wasn't a busy sidewalk or anything like that. So it's not like we looked too weird. Nobody was, around. But you had to sit Indian style and you reached out and you held the other person's hands and you would have it to where your knees would be like touching the other person's knees and you would close your eyes and you would say it like 5, 10, 15 times, something like that. Same thing, Blue Baby. And when you opened your eyes, you were supposed to see this baby that looked blue. What? In your, like, in between your all's knees. And I did it one
Mm.
time and I did it a few times with this friend, but one time we did it and we both opened our eyes and we saw something weird, you know, on our knees or whatever. She freaks out. She gets up, she runs, and I think it was probably just a trick of the light. Like
Yeah.
sun blindness, because that maybe that's why you got to do it in the sunlight. And you open up your eyes and everything's
Mhm.
weird, colors or whatever. I think it was something like that. So it's like an optical illusion game or something that we played.
Possibly.
Uh, but I
Possibly.
never really believed in that. I was a 10
Weird.
when I did that, but I did see something, but my logical mind, either it would crack if I knew that it was real. So it's like, no, no, here's some logical explanations of why you saw what you saw.
Yeah.
I really do think that it was probably just a sun blindness or something. So,
Yeah, maybe.
and
That's
then
so crazy.
I know, I know, I didn't know about the rest of this stuff. Flushing, no, I didn't do anything like that. And then another really popular one, it's still popular now, that you and I personally have done, because we didn't do these other ones together. But we
No,
did light as a feather, stiff as a
but
board.
different
How,
board.
how does
Yes.
that refresh in my memory? How does that
Light
one work?
Light as a feather, stiff as a board became really popular after the movie. The Craft came out. So the Craft came out, I want to say in like 96 or 97.
Seven, I think.
But yeah, so what happens with Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board in the movie, there's these four girls who practice witchcraft. Three of them, were learned witches, and there was a fourth one who was a natural born witch. Her mother was a witch, her grandmother was a witch, and it came down to her. So you get these four witches together. They're hanging out in their, one of the friends' rooms, spending the night, just having a, sleepover. And so they decided that they were playing around with magic. They were doing like, the facial reconstruction, things like that with spells. And then one says, hey, let's do Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. So Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board is a game where one person lies completely still with their eyes closed and their arms folded across their chest, while a couple other people were on the sides of them. Two people usually is the minimum, so you have to have three people minimum, one for each side. And you would put your two fingers underneath their body. Yeah, you would put it, and then you would repeat the saying, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board, as many times as it takes. But supposedly you're supposed to levitate them off of the floor, and it's supposed to be this cool, magic trick. And I don't remember, I think you and I got like an inch off the floor, but I think that was about it. Who were we playing with? Were we playing with Liz?
We played with a few people. We played with your cousin. We played with a few people that we don't talk to anymore, but we played with several people,
but
and we
it
got
was
it.
a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, and we were able to get them off like 2 to 3 inches
Yeah,
off the floor. We
and I
couldn't
don't
get
know
them
how
up to
that
like
works.
4.
I don't know if it's like a mind
It
over
was,
matter thing or what, but I mean, they were not on,
they
like,
were
you could feel their body,
yeah.
like, come up. It was strange. I can't
Mhm.
explain
You
that
could
one.
put your hand under them, which was super cool. You could put your hand under them, but it very well could have been mind over matter because, like I told you in a few of these pods, your brain does some amazing things. And if you're really focused and very much concentrated on what you're doing, you can do awesome stuff. So with witchcraft, if you have that intention set, you are able to do these things. So when you and I played Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board, we did actually get somebody to go up, which was super freaking cool with us. So honestly, out of all these games, I think that's the only one that was like real. So
Tell what happened when you did Bloody Mary that one time.
yeah, okay. So I guess that could be real. But the thing is, okay, so I was with my friends and we were at a sleepover and I was hanging out,
How
and
old
we
were
were
you?
just talking about like I want to say 9 or 10.
Yeah.
But we were just hanging out and we decided to be goofy and we were talking about scary stories, things like that. And I don't remember how it came up, but Bloody Mary came up. So the girls I was with, they were the mean girls, I call them, because they were jerks. They're like, okay, well, go into the bathroom and do the Bloody Mary thing. I'm like, I don't want to do the Bloody Mary thing. It's not that I was afraid, I just didn't want, I was more afraid of them doing something stupid outside the bathroom that was trying
Like
to
locking
scare
you
me,
in or something? Oh, yeah.
locking me in. Yeah, so I was scared of that. These weren't actual friends of mine. They were kind of like neighbors that were not very nice to anyone, specifically me. One, because of, I wasn't their ethnicity, and they didn't like that. But anyway, I go into the bathroom. I said, fine, I'll do it. So I go into the bathroom. I turn off the light. I have a candle. We put it on the sink, and I look in the mirror, and I said Bloody Mary 3 times, staring directly at the mirror. I just saw my own face, and I said Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And the only thing that I can actually say I saw was a few wisps, like black wisps, like behind me, but the room was black. So it could have just been a trick of the candlelight. I don't know. But I saw a few black wisps, and I sat there in the bathroom. I think I even repeated it one extra time, like 3 times. And I didn't feel anything. I didn't see anything. I definitely didn't see a reflection of some woman in the mirror. I just saw me, a little girl, looking in the mirror. I could barely see over the mirror, but I was able to look in the mirror.
Right.
And so I come out of the bathroom, and the girls are there, and they're looking at me, and they're like, "What the hell happened to you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Nothing happened to me." And they said, "Your face is all scratched up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't see my face scratched up in the mirror. So I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So one of the girls pulled out one of the little compact mirrors, that we had when we were kids,
Yeah.
and they put it up to my face and had me look at it. I had scratches, literal scratches, all over my face, and they were deep scratches that I didn't know where they had come from. I didn't feel them. I didn't think about them. I didn't know about them. But when I looked in the mirror, I had like deep red gouges here. I had like 3 here, 3 here. I don't know where they came from.
Hmm.
So I didn't feel them until the girls pointed them out. Then after that I felt them.
Yeah.
And I ended up, getting some like what's called the peroxide and stuff to clean up my face. But I had no idea what had happened. Like I didn't feel anything when it happened, and all I saw was some black wisps. I didn't see anything else. But that was my story, so I don't even know if it was like real. I don't know how I got the scratches.
Because you know what I never understood about that game is like why I don't think did we even go over that? What happens if you do it? We talked about the background of it, but did we talk about what's supposed to happen? You're supposed to
They,
see like a bloody face and sometimes it's a good face or
yeah. Well, okay, so the urban legend is you're supposed to go into the bathroom, say the name Bloody Mary 3 times with a candle. Bloody Mary should appear in the mirror to you, either as a bloody faced woman, a witch, like an ugly
oh,
witch,
yeah.
or sometimes they even said that it comes as a really beautiful benevolent woman who is just really pretty, very nice, things like that. So again, the urban myths really don't add up to what's supposed to happen.
Right.
But it could be an evil witch, it could be a bloody girl, it could be a beautiful woman. I mean, nobody ever knows, but the theory behind it is it's a malevolent woman who's not very nice, doesn't like to be called upon. When she gets called upon, she gets pissed and she starts, beating on people and scratching people and trying to kill you. That's what they claim is supposed to happen. So, but again, the stories vary. And I didn't see anything, but I still ended up with scratches all over my face. So I have no idea.
It reminds me of like a woman who doesn't want to be bothered and her phone keeps ringing.
Right? Well, in that case, I would just throw my phone across the room. But,
I wonder why she's like summoned supposedly like every single time. That's got to get old. If that's legit, every single time somebody
yeah,
it's
she would
oh,
probably be annoyed. I mean, that would probably be why she would be pissed off.
mhm.
Everybody's always bugging her. Yeah.
I'm saying I get annoyed when I get robocallers constantly. Just like
Right?
wiping them away. Um,
And isn't there another one, Resurrection Mary, too?
no, Resurrection Mary is where we grew up in Justice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The one right by
Yeah, Resurrection
Resurrection Cemetery,
Cemetery.
right where I live.
Yeah, we'll talk about her in our like not legends, but like ghosts, you know.
Paranormal stories.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because there's a lot of cool stuff that, is supposed to have happened with that one,
Mm-hmm.
Resurrection Mary. And I mean, you always heard about that, because we live right,
We
by,
were
I know,
literally 5 seconds from them. Yeah.
I was,
Ashbury Coffee House. She would walk down Archer Avenue there. Yeah.
yeah, so it was really neat. So I never had the guts to do Bloody Mary, but I did Candyman. So the same friend that I did the blue baby thing with outside, um, we tried Candyman. This is so we we were in the really haunted apartment. Um, of course. Of course. So that was a stupid idea anyway, but that's for another time. So her and we went into the bathroom, and that bathroom didn't have um a window or anything. So it was like
Mhm.
pitch black. My favorite
Mhm.
thing. So I made her get in first. I wanted to be closer to the door, just because
Get out quicker, yeah.
anything's gonna happen. I'm getting out first, man. But we stood in front of the mirror, and we didn't have a candle or anything like that. We just said Candyman. But the thing about it is we were so scared to do it. So it's like we'd get to like the second, Candyman, and we'd be like, okay, wait a second. Never mind. Let's just give it a second. And so we kept doing that for a few minutes, and then finally I was like, let's just do it. So we did it. And after we said the third Candyman, I kid you not, bang, bang, we screamed. Oh my God. I probably ran into the door trying to get out of it fast enough. And it turns out the landlord was downstairs, and he was doing something, and I think he had like a broom, or he did something in it at that time. Either he heard us and he wanted to mess with us, or it was just a coincidence. Very unfortunate for me.
That is so
So
funny. Oh my gosh.
it was awful.
This is hysterical. And I mean, he probably heard you because your vents
Probably.
weren't in there and they went straight downstairs. So he probably heard you and he probably was screwing with you because,
Probably, and I
you
never
know,
thought about that until I thought about, "Hey, I should probably tell this story," and I was just thinking this whole time, "Oh, yeah, it was just coincidence," but now I was like, "No, he probably heard us." He's like, "Oh, I'll show
did it on
those
purpose.
little girls."
Yeah, they want to screw with paranormal stuff. Let's just do it. Bang, bang, bang. That is so freaking funny.
Ah,
I love that. I
it
love
was
that.
terrifying, but
Hey,
other
we should
than that,
recreate some of these.
yeah, sure, I'm
Do
for
you
that.
say yeah or no?
I'll do it. I'll do it now.
Really? You
Yeah,
sure?
mhm,
Being in the bathroom, pitch black?
sounds great. Yeah, do it. I'll do it, sure. That'll be when I come
Maybe
with it.
maybe we'll do it on camera and see if anything pops up. Since we caught that one EVP, we'll see if anything else shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I watched that the other day, the EVP one.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that was definitely like a cackle or something. Something I heard a cackle.
Yeah, and I heard it's witchcraft. So, I mean, and then our viewers were like, "No, it's not. We're not sure what it's saying, or they're saying witch or no." Like we had a lot of varied
Opinions on what they
answers
heard.
to what they did. Yeah, opinions of what they heard. So,
That's cool.
and then
Maybe
somebody said that they heard something outside the door.
I don't know. All I know is that it wasn't feedback because I cleaned up the videos, and like I really thoroughly cleaned that one up, and it was inside whatever. Like, I mean, I know feedback.
Yeah, it was like right in my ear, and I didn't even hear it.
It was just,
We just
yeah,
caught
the
it on
fact that we
camera.
didn't hear it. Like the other feedback, like we'll hear it when we're talking. Like I'll hear the echo. But we didn't
Hmm.
hear that when it happened, so
No,
that was something
and
different.
it wasn't my beardy who makes a lot of noise because it literally was words. So, and unless my bearded dragon decided to learn how to talk, I don't think it was her.
No, definitely not. It was, I heard a laugh, but yeah, so that is the pod for today for that, and we've got a paranormal pod, like a personal story pod coming up of a couple times where, we had an unfortunate experience after playing with, either a divination tool or yeah.
Yeah.
So, watch for that one. That one was scary, both accounts.
EVPs, Ouija boards. Oh yeah, we've had quite a few scary things happen to us.
To
So
me,
we'll
it's
have to, yeah.
fun for us to talk about, though, so but
Mhm. All
yeah,
right, awesome. Sounds great. I'm really looking forward to it. So it'll be fun.
I'm gonna do research too about the people who, allegedly died after doing the why did I blue baby? Why do I keep
Blue
doing
baby,
blueberry?
yeah. I think you want some blueberries.
Maybe, I don't know what's going on with that. It's the 2nd
Blue
time.
baby.
Blue babies,
Yes.
whatever.
So
But
that sounds awesome.
if I can find the facts for that or whatever, if it was actually tied to a real event, I'll link that,
Yeah, for
down
sure.
below, whatever, in the comment. Just so, I don't know, we have it. But yep.
Yeah, so
hopefully-
everybody else can look at it too. See,
Yep.
well, this is where we got our information from. So,
But yeah, other than that, look for the next paranormal short that we're gonna have our scary stories in. And hopefully you enjoyed this. I mean, it wasn't long, but we're trying to do a little bit shorter because we just don't want to be too lengthy. We've heard, from a few people that the shorter
Yeah.
ones are easier to listen to. So trying.
And remember, if any of you guys have any stories or things you'd like to share with us, please email us and we will gladly take a listen to it. And even possibly, if you want to be on our show, let us know. We can get you on here. We can interview you in person and you can tell us some of your scary stories too. I think it'll be really fun to do that.
Yep.
So,
What's the email there?
Why do you gotta pick on me?
I'm not.
Okay. So I'm gonna try this.
You did it last time.
Unscripted. Yeah, so that doesn't help me. UnscriptedParanormal@gmail.com.
Yep. We got it. See? I'm saying you're doing it.
So,
Nailed it.
so yes, email us. And if you like what you see, make sure you give us a like, a subscribe on our YouTube channel. You can find us on all our social media accounts, Unscripted with Amy and Sarah. And we look forward to hearing each and every one of you. And we want to know your stories. So if you ever want to be on our show to talk to us, let us know. We would love to have you.
Yep. They make for a cool pod. Viewer listener
For sure.
stories. Yep. But until next time.
Yeah.
I'm Amy. Keep it creepy.
I'm Sarah. Keep it real. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.